always forget that's such a short intro. And yeah, welcome. We are here, of course, with game number 2. It is Fnatic taking on TCM Gaming. We are in group number B, group number B for the Corsair Gaming Summer Tournament. The winner of this matchup will move on to the winners bracket finals tomorrow, while the loser will move on to the loser bracket round number 1 matchup tonight. And well, we are of course still in the group stages. It is a bit of a GSL style, so the top 2 of each group go through. Fnatic and TCM are the first 2 to play each other. After this, we have got KP and Ubelst. I know I said in the previous game that it was Quantic, but Quantic actually pulled out from Corsair Gaming Summer Tournament due to Shoxka being hospitalized. We don't know why, but wish him all the best regardless. And yeah, means that Ubelst will take their place. Means that we'll see Ubelst up against KP later tonight. But first we're gonna see if Fnatic can make it a 2-0 up against TCM, since they are 1 game ahead, or if TCM with a new stand-in can force out a game number 3. And of course with me is Kanaz. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
So, what do you think are the odds that Fnatic gets put to a game 3?
I would say low. I don't know, I haven't decided how low, but probably like 20%. I don't think there's a good chance that, unless they decide to do something really silly, maybe Fnatic, and they go with some really awkward draft just to try something out because they know it's a free game. Otherwise, I think they probably have a pretty good chance of just taking it 2-0 over TCM, especially with how last game went.
Yeah, and they actually pick up the Naga Siren that was, of course, used in a previous game by TCM. So TCM is going to be having maybe a bit of a tougher time to decide what carry they want to pick, but they do have the Bat Rider secured, and well, we have got a Wisp and a Tree Band out together with a Darkseer and a Keeper of the Light. But Bat Rider was the first pickup for TCM, so hopefully they can put that to use. Of course, it has very many different uses. You can put them in the jungle, on the off lane, in the mid lane, on the safe lane if you want it, as long as it's solo. And Dragon Knight will be picked up by TCM, so I'm expecting that to be mid. I just said already they have a different stand-in. Previous stand-in was Arise, and now we have Sasu. I knew Arise, but I don't know Sasu. Have you got any idea what kind of role he would play?
No, I also do not know. I've never seen Sasu, I don't think. So they're missing Wern, right? And Wern usually plays offlane?
Yes.
So maybe we'll see him play offlane, and Blueberry Ninja usually plays mid, I think?
I think Blueberry Ninja plays support.
Is it Blueberry Ninja support? Who's mid then? Is it Etsy?
I think Etsy or Hawaii.
I'm pretty sure Hawaii plays support.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
We will never find out this way.
Never ever,
well,
since they won't have their full team. They were waiting for him and he just didn't make it in time.
Yeah, stuck in traffic.
Pretty unfortunate for them. But yeah, so we'll see what this lineup's gonna look like if they do something. It's already looking a little bit more traditional, I guess, than the last one did.
Yeah.
Not starting off Naga Dazzle, right off the bat.
And then not using the combination.
Yeah, they didn't really take great advantage of it. They got the ult off with Naga and then put the weave on the opponents, but by the time that was really getting relevant, Fnatic was already so far ahead. The minus armor was kind of, they were like, yeah, it sucks, we take more damage from towers, whatever, but we're still going to kill you.
Yeah. Well, we have
this time Naga is on the Fnatic side.
Yeah, and we instantly see some bans from TCM that would benefit from that. So Nature's Prophet, who would get the time to TP into a fight, for example, or Puck, that could get a Dream Coil set up properly. We've got a Visage pick up by Fnatic. I really like to see that. Let's see how I think No-Till plays that one. And of course also pretty decent if you want to go for AoE stuns and you have got a good setup. If timed properly, your entire enemy team, you can stun up your entire enemy team if they get caught out of position with those familiars, obviously. Weaver and Gyrocopter getting banned out by Fnatic to make sure they cannot play that one anymore. Even though the Weaver in the previous game wasn't really able to do that much, they just don't want to face it again. It's just annoying. Wards and such.
Yeah, it's... we'll see where it ends up going. They have so many options. Weaver, maybe I would have given it to TCM again, but maybe they're going to move around roles. I feel one of the weakest parts of TCM's game last time was sort of their Weaver play. He was way too aggressive in the offlane, got punished a couple times, And once he fell behind, it sort of resulted in the other lanes having to adjust very quickly as a result of it. Mid was kind of a wash until the supports from bottom were able to just move around very easily, get those kills on Tinker. Then once Tinker started dying, Puck was able to move around, start getting kills in the top lane. So it all kind of fell down like dominoes for TCM in the last game. And it was all just sort of on the back of Weaver getting picked off those couple times very early.
Yeah, and Tinker as well, of course, who took very long to get his boot of travel on.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I think part of that was because the support started roaming from the bottom lane. But you don't want that to really happen. And Tinker, he's a little bit more vulnerable to gank. You can think of it as like that's an excuse for him, especially if he didn't back off when those supports were smoke ganking to the mid lane. Maybe it was because the Weaver was already so pushed back out of lane that he doesn't know necessarily where the supports are.
Yeah,
and you can't just hide for like a minute. You could try your best to not get ganked, but you know, realistically, it's probably going to come out.
Yeah, there's only so much that you can do. And of course, by that time, he'd already died once. He'd already got a kill as well. I mean, that's nice. But yeah, he couldn't get enough farm anymore. And I mean, if you lose that lane, you basically... If you lose that safe lane for the opponent team, so that tri lane that we saw on the bottom lane for Fnatic won, and then they could leave, indeed, Morphling alone. And then all of a sudden you've got two supports and you never really know where they are because they could be anywhere. We gotta see TCM though, they pick up a Doom. Skywrath Mage was there as well. I'm actually expecting it to play as a support. Doom could be in the jungle, could be as a carry. I'm hoping it's gonna be as a carry.
Yeah, there's like no way Skywrath cannot be a support with these other heroes picked up from TCM already. The other three so farm intensive that Skywrath's going to have to shift into a support role, which I think is how most teams favor him if they end up picking him up. Not that many really do after his sort of honeymoon period where everyone was trying him out in games. It's been a while since we've really seen a lot of Skywrath picks. But a pretty powerful hero. The silence is very effective against a hero like Lifestealer. If you can get it off before the rage, you can do a lot of magic damage, trying to take him down quickly. He has a lot of burst damage, of course, to follow up the silence, so it could be relevant. Doom Dragon Knight Batrider though, it's
greedy.
Doom and Dragon Knight are really greedy picks together. Dragon Knight's, if he's going to be a mid hero, which is pretty much what you'd expect to see, he usually needs quite a bit of farm to really get going. If he's going to be a pusher or anything, usually needs at least like a Shadow Blade before he could start moving around on the map. And Doom, he needs a lot of farm to really be able to fight at all, especially against heroes like Lifestealer. Doom doesn't have armor and has high HP, so Lifestealer is very effective against him, just like he is against sort of an Alchemist, except Alchemist can farm faster, try and make up for that fact. Doom, like, he has Devourer for some additional farm, but it's still not as fast as like an Alchemist would be. So he's going to be kind of vulnerable to that Lifestealer early on the game, and also the minus armor from Naga Siren.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, if Fnatic is gonna run the Naga Siren Visage Jakiro as an aggressive tri-lane, that's gonna, like, okay, you've got Dragon Knight, still a mid-hero to be picked up by Fnatic, so we're gonna see who's up against him. But the thing is about Dragon Knight, he should be able to get some farm. He's not gonna very highly win his lane, and we actually still have an OD in the pool, so if that's there, then Dragon Knight is gonna lose his lane, most likely. You got Batrider, who can of course farm solidly in the jungle, but if you're gonna be up against an aggressive tri-lane, your Doom is not gonna get that much. And I mean, it's okay heroes if they have farm, but if they don't, they're gonna get behind so fast and so far that Fnatic can just spiral out of control in that time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a greedy lineup, and if they get punished for it in really any of their lanes, it's going to be hard for all of their lanes once again. Whereas Fnatic, they have a lot more going on, and Kunkka, pretty good pickup here. It gives them some additional follow-up to the Naga Sleep, especially with Jakiro, to also lay down some spells. They can do a lot of AoE damage coming off of that sleep, and it also gives them some resiliency in these fights with the boat.
Yeah, and I'm thinking Kunkka Dragon Knight, it's a fairly decent matchup, and I mean, Dragon Knight shouldn't die. He has got, of course, his Dragon's Blood. Kunkka shouldn't die either, and both will be able to get some levels and some farm at least. So we'll see if they run an aggressive tri-lane, because if they do, Lifestealer will probably be by himself farming on that top lane, and he should be able to stay alive up against a Batrider, who is now officially the offlaner / jungler, because I still wouldn't be surprised to see him put in the jungle, depending on what TCM is of course expecting from Fnatic, and I think we can kind of expect an aggressive tri-lane from them. I hope so.
Well, you're saying the aggressive trialing from Fnatic?
Yes.
They could certainly do it. I don't know if Blue-Ray Ninja's going to be able to really jungle on that Batrider with the Enchantress pickup.
Well, he only needs one camp.
Yeah, I guess if Enchantress is really going to heavily sort of move into the lane
She
once
needs
she
to.
grabs one creep, if they run the aggressive tri-lane, it's certainly possible that they'll need to. I don't know, TCM, it's just so much farm that they need with this lineup. Pretty much all of their heroes want some farm. Even Skyrath is a hero that usually gets at least a little bit. He can go completely hard 5 here, which is pretty much exactly what he's going to have to do. It limits his effectiveness quite a bit.
Prepare for battle.
Fnatic uses smoke straight away. How about that?
Yeah, they're rushing down to this bottom lane. I don't know what they're hoping to get from it. Maybe they're just... Is their team fight at level 1 really that great? It's okay.
They've got the net on 1. They've got, of course, No-Tail that will just wait until they need either the nuke or the Grave Chill. They've got something from the Lifestealer. Let's see. Nothing yet from the Kunkka either. The Jakiro, nothing yet either. So the only thing they have is a net to scout someone off. And they are going to try to scout someone off. And it would be Go Audio if they catch him. Or Atsi, whatever they find first. It is going to be Atsi. I'm quite surprised they pick up the one next to the tower. Ice Path. Hits up on Atsi as well. Tower doing quite a bit of damage up on Trixie though. But it is going to be the first blood going the way of Hani. Can they find more? That tower. Be careful for that tower, Hani. He will have the tower taken over by Trixie, but Trixie is gonna be dead very soon. So, oh my god, she lives. That tree eating was enough. Era will still end up going down though. TCM at least getting 1 return kill, and those sticky napalms are quite sticky, but the torrent will be stopping TCM from chasing it down. 2 kills going the way of Fnatic. They are gonna have to go back to base though, because... You know, if this is an aggressive trial, which it looks to be, because Era, after he died, he went top. We still have No-Tail sitting on the bottom lane. We have got Fly staying on the bottom lane. And Trixie will have to probably buy a TP. And yeah, well, they got the first blood. And he got the first blood, which is decent. That's a solo mid with an extra batch of gold.
Yeah, Era died too.
Yeah.
In the middle of that fight, so they lost Lifestealer, but they got 2 kills out of it. And I think Era died last. Yeah, Era died last, so he was around for some of that experience where he gained like half a level. Along with the rest of his team, things are looking okay for Fnatic with that fight. It was really aggressive of them. They dove a tower. Maybe they weren't expecting like all 5 heroes from TCM to be there, which is certainly reasonable. Usually you don't see big 5v5 engagements on a tier 1 tower before the game starts.
Yeah, I mean, that tower, if it wasn't on that tower, Era probably wouldn't have died.
Yeah, almost all of the damage that Fnatic really ended up taking in that fight was from the tower. Yeah. And then eventually from Batrider just stacking 1,000,000 points of sticky napalm on everyone, but...
I think nautical.
You're right. Let's see who is playing what, because I don't think we went over that. Did I go over that? No, I didn't.
No, I don't think we did because that fight took place so quickly.
Yeah. So yeah, for Fnatic, they are on the dire side this game. We are going to have Trixie on the Naga Siren. Fly will play the Jakiro for his team. No-Tail on his Visage. In the mid lane it will be the Kunkka played by Hani. And then on the top lane, last but not least, it is Era playing the Lifestealer.
Yep, and for TCM, in the top lane we're going to have Blueberry Ninja on the Batrider. For the off lane, mid lane will be the stand-in Sasu playing the Dragon Knight. And then finally bottom lane, it's going to be Hoai on the Enchantress. Go Audio on the Doom, and finally Atsi on the Skyrath Mage.
Yeah, and look at those wards. Hawaii was looking for them, but I mean, this one is out of sentry range, so she can't find it. There's 2 wards there, so even if they find one, they won't be finding the other, and it's nicely done by Fnatic just to make sure that they're gonna have the lane to themselves, and they are having a lane to themselves. Go Audio is not able to get in range to go for any last hits, because when he does, there will be a Riptide. He will have lower armor than he already has, which is actually quite low. There will be a net, there will be a Soul Assumption, and an Ice Path, the Macro. There's nothing you can do. And Halo poll results. Fnatic, very much in favor. 17% on the way of TCM. I have respect for those 17%. And kudos to you for multitasking.
Yeah. Trying my best. People were running the poll. And I was like, alright, I'll put that poll up. I'm not going to type a ton of stats during the game, but I'll do that one. Nice. Yeah, those 17% are the kind of people are like, oh, the rares I can win if they win, because it's not looking good for TCM. They're already behind this game. They obviously got kind of stomped in that first game, and their lineup is so greedy here that I don't really feel like they can afford to give up kills like that early, especially if this try lane doesn't work out in the try versus try. Their top lane's a Bat Rider up against a Nakes, and Nakes is definitely going to have more and more impact as the game goes on. Bat Rider gets a lot of farm early, it can be great. He can get that fast blink dagger, but it doesn't look like Blueberry Ninja is having success.
Nope, not at all. I mean, he is getting aggressive here. Era won't be able to kill him off, but Blueberry Ninja is sitting on 10 for 1 on last hits. It was Blueberry Ninja that got the kill on Era in the start of the game though, so that's nice. But, I mean, Era sitting on 16 to 5, so a bit extra last hits for him, a bit extra experience. Blueberry tries to do what he can with the neutrals here, but it is very tough for him. And he is supposed to be, or right now, he is supposed to be the person, maybe together with Sasu, as we see Hani actually being forced to back off with the Torrent. But yeah, he is the person that's supposed to be buying time for TCM to get their farm up, because they're not getting it right now. And you already said at the start, like, if they lose one of their lanes, they'll probably lose most of their lanes, or at least, you know, they will be in a bad shape from that moment on already, and it's tough to get out of that, crawl out of that hole.
Yeah, one of the good things is that mid lane Enchantress found a Harpy Storm.
Yeah.
And as a result, Hani is having an absolutely terrible time. Fortunately, he had a regen rune, so it didn't go as poorly for him as it could have gone. He was able to just sort of regen a lot of that harass up. But that Harpy Storm is really frustrating to lane against. It's just going to sit there, continuing to spam that chain lightning out. And they might go on Hani here.
Yeah, they slow him down. We don't have another go though. No Dragon Tail in range. And level 5 still up on Sasu. He was close to level 6. If he would have had that, we might have had a long range Dragon Tail, and he might have been able to go for that, but didn't have the mana, didn't have the levels, so in the end, I guess it's lucky for Hani that it is actually an Enchantress and not a Chen, because the Harpy is about to go down. But yeah, that's the most annoying creep to have of all.
Yeah, but the Harpy used like 2/3 of its mana pool anyways.
Yeah.
So most of its effectiveness was done. Usually the Chen ends up just sacrificing it anyways at that point. And yeah, it could be better, but it could also be worse, at least in this mid lane. And Sasu getting harassed a little bit there.
Yeah, the moment that the Harpy is gone, Hani wants to make him pay. Hani, of course, still level 6. Or also level 6, I should say. 25 to 5 for him. Oh, Dragon Tail is there, but no more mana for Sasu. He has to be so careful, because Hani might actually... Never mind, that's why he came in. He has got some backup. Atsi, can he get the last hit? One more hit needed. Yes, he can! There you go. That's gonna be a kill on the middle lane. I almost thought that Sasu was gonna suicide there, but in comes the support. They saved the day. But yeah, I was gonna say that Hani has 26 last hits while Sasu is sitting on 21. We have got a bit of a bug. No bugs.
Yeah, that was really, really good. I don't know if Sasu was just completely baiting Hani out.
And
if he was, very, very smart, because Hani will almost always take that bait, I feel like. Definitely the kind of player that's always going to be very aggressive in these lanes, trying to force as much advantage out as possible that way. And with these supports here, obviously, he gets punished, ends up going down. And that's a pretty good kill for them to get. If they can build enough advantage in this mid lane, it can go a little bit better for them. Dragon Knight can maybe get the Shadow Blade, if I'm assuming that's what he's going for. Could be something else. But if he does get a Shadow Blade early, he can move around, try and help in these other lanes. Doom is not having a good time bottom at all, especially with these supports moving around trying to help mid. And I think maybe they've just accepted that that is going to be the fact of this game.
Yeah.
With Trixie down there with the minus armor, and then of course Fly. Then Jakiro can set up an ice path really easily off the net. And if Visage is there, he just has a lot of burst damage. Though he has headed up to that top lane now. So maybe they're just trying to force out Hani in the mid lane, build advantage for the Dragon Knight there, rely on that carry. But if they're losing top, they're losing bottom. It's not really where they're going to want to be. I guess it's pretty close top.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's not necessarily lost for Blueberry, and he definitely has his lasso now as well. So might be able to get something done. But yeah, like you said, No-Till has rotated, and they're actually going to try to go for him. They should be able to. Lasso or not, Soul Assumption already hit, and that's going to be enough damage to get him down. No-Till in the end with the last hit, and Blueberry should have probably just let his lasso go. As in, not lasso, and just fly away. He might have been more lucky then, but it was a tough call to begin with. And he goes down. In the meantime, Doom also going down the bottom lane. A rotation from Hani coming in. The boat actually helped out. There was, of course, Ice Path net. Actually, Ice Path wasn't even there. And Jakiro, he hasn't used any of his mana for that engagement. But Doom goes down. That is 2 lanes at the same time killed off. And only one stays alive, which is Sasu, who came back, of course, on full HP and mana in the middle lane where Hani was not present.
Yeah, and that's really big for them to get those kills in the 2 lanes. They take down Doom and Batrider, and those are important heroes. Doom obviously going to be more important as the game goes on, and Batrider very necessary to their strategy as we hit this mid game, next 10 minutes or so. If they can get more kills on the Batrider, it's really, really good for Fnatic. Batrider is very, very necessary if they want to get kills. Trixie in trouble in the bottom lane though.
Yeah, lands a net up on Hawaii, but he's still running. Atsi, no more mana, no more cooldown. Ice Path will actually just be there just in case. But they weren't chasing it anymore. Trixie, tanky enough to stay alive, has also got that Ring of Health, but Belt of Strength and a Stout Shield will definitely help out with that. Level 5 up on her. Level 5 also for the Enchantress, who's almost level 6 by the way. Levels on Trixie are coming quite a bit, quite slowly actually there, as Batrider goes down on the top lane again. Same combination. I mean, I feel like he was just a bit greedy, wanted to stop the pool from happening. Ended up dying for it.
He almost killed No Tail. He was taking him down pretty quickly, and then Arrow just showed up and was like, hey, and he died. So, yeah, he's being aggressive there. He's trying to stop the pull from No Tail. He's trying to also get a kill, maybe force that support out of lane. So he feels safer in that lane, ends up just feeding a kill, and that makes Visage hanging out up there even more beneficial. I'm
missing kills all over the place again. Dragonite goes down to the Kunkka in the mid lane in the end. Again. I say again, it was the first time that Kunkka died actually. Sorry, that Dragonite died. That's a pretty decent pickup. Boat used for that as well.
Yeah, if you land Torrent Boat on someone, it's very easy to get the kill with Kunkka this early in the game. Just does a lot of magic damage, and then of course you have the physical damage from the splash and your auto attacks. But good kill for Honey to get, and his is solo. He didn't even need support for it, which gives him even more experience. The supports are already doing okay on his team. Chikiro is moving around now as well. He's invisible heading up to the top lane, so it looks like they want to probably get another kill on Blue Brain Ninja, and then from that, take that tier 1 top.
Yeah, as Trixie gets away here on the top lane. There is a Doom though. They're actually going to go for Trixie right here. Not sure if they can get him though, and this is not a Doom that would actually kill Trixie off. In the meantime, on the top lane, indeed, Batrider goes down again. Yeah, I had to decide which encounter to follow, but I guess Doom was a more secured kill, and Trixie will be able to stay alive. I mean, that was a wasted Doom, as in the ability.
Yeah, they're not able to get the kill on Trixie in the bottom lane. They use Doom, which is one of their bigger spells for it. And in the meantime, they also get in trouble top. They keep going on Trixie, but they don't really have good follow-up here, especially with Doom already on cooldown.
Yeah, and now that she knows that the Doom is on cooldown, the only thing she has to worry about is, of course, the Ancient Seal, who would also silence her up, so she can't have a song. But I think she's tanky enough to survive through that and still have a song after that to get away, should it be needed. The pressure goes on the tower now instead, though, and that might actually be a reason for Fnatic to rotate a bit more. And also, actually, here comes Enchantress from the side. The silence is up on there. There is a song, though. Is she tanky enough? Here comes the song! The attack was still flying from Hawaii. That's gonna be the one thing that she didn't account for, and that's gonna be her death. His death.
Yeah, Trixie just playing pretty aggressive there, felt safe. But realistically, was he even smoked up? Like, Enchantress wasn't smoked, was she?
Yeah, she was. I believe
was
she
she?
was.
Okay. Alright. I was like, they have a ward there. I didn't notice because I was trying to watch top lane where, they get the tower now.
Oh, boat comes
Honey.
in. Dragon Tail's already there. Honey in a lot of trouble. Here comes the Doom, but he's no mana. Just attack damage from him, which is okay-ish, but it's not really something to write home. But we have got also nice Visages stuns. Honey seems to be able to get away. That boat buff really helping out. Really helping out a lot, actually. Hawaii getting slowed up. Goes for a couple of impetuses, but Trixie is actually wanting to just get himself that Riptide on there, and that forces TCM back. In the end, no kill here on this bottom lane. And I think for both teams, they can be happy with that, because they could have lost to Kunkka, but they also, I think, TCM could have lost a lot here, and we still see Era looking for blood. And he's actually going for this.
Really far in.
This open wounds, because it is level 3. He has got those drums of phase boots. Here comes TCM though, and they are gonna go for Era. I mean, he might get the kill. Infest damage is gonna be it. Oh! He is gonna get lassoed and silenced. He's not gonna get the kill. You do not go past start and you lose. You don't get a kill, and that's aggression that you can't afford.
Yeah, and a little bit of fail micro there from No-Tail with those Visage failures. I think he could have gotten the last hit, but he like started sending them back. Maybe he thought that he was already dead or whatever. Was just gonna pull the familiars back before they towered up. Ends up not really using them. They both go down as well, so he feeds the 200 gold to those heroes. That was kind of weird. Fnatic, I don't know why Arrow went in that hard.
Oh, Sasu is in some trouble. Boat comes in as well. Nice ice path, stopping Blueberry Ninja. He wants to go for Lasso. But will he actually he can't, he's on cooldown. We still have the Dragon Knight going down, no surprise there, as Awayo comes in with a couple of imitations. Might go for Fly, gets it as well. Now has to be on the run, but goes down instead. Open wounds up on Era wants to go in again, looking for blood. This time he actually gets it, but it is Kunkka that gets the last hit. Visage will end up going down as well. Skywrath Mage at least getting a kill in return. It is 2, 4, 3 here in the middle lane. 2 supports down on Fnatic, and well, I guess 2-ish supports with a Dragon Knight going down on the side of TCM, so Fnatic getting the better of that trade. And, of course, they get a tier 1 tower, which is the second tower to go down on the side of TCM, and of course also the second tower on the map in general.
Yeah, they just able to take the fight and then take a tower, which is exactly what you want to be doing. Skywrath Mage got that kill in Visage with his ultimate, just dropped the Mystic Flare on his head, and Visage like, oh, dots. Those are really effective against my Gravekeeper's Cloak, and also lots of damage. Also pretty effective against my 800 HP. Yeah, it was a kill, but they end up trading 3 for 2. That's obviously less than ideal, and Fnatic now moving down to the bottom lane. Just gonna go for the last tier 1 tower they have to take.
Yeah, and there's nobody here of TCM to try and prevent them from everything, because they want to go for a kill of an Era, indeed. They end up getting him, which is nice. And actually, I'm not sure now. It's not worth losing a tier 1 tower for, unless they get a tier 1 tower themselves. And they are sticking around, so I'm thinking they want to go for that tier 1 tower. The question is Fnatic going to try and defend it? I wouldn't put it past them, especially not since they have a song to set things up with. There is a TP scroll, and there they go. It is going to be already the bird that comes in first. Where is the rest, though? Are they going to let it die?
Looks like they might. They're going to rotate mid and try and get Doom.
Fortification will help out a little bit. Visage, not quite sure if he can defend it. We still have Go Audio, a bit careful here. He knows he has to be careful. Honey with that haste torrent chasing him down. There will be an X mark the spot as well as a torrent. Here comes a Doom though, Hani. Not gonna die from a TP out from Go Audio, and there will be no stun because the TPs went top. They go for that flag, already goes down. Looks like TCM is trying to take the fight for them. Awayo, Nature Tendons keeping him up. They are able to pick up Trixie. Now No-Tail gonna be the next target, but he is able to keep himself up, and that's gonna be all over the map. TCM getting ahead. They got the Lifestealer. They got 2 kills on top of that. They got a tier 1 tower, and all they lost was a tier 1 tower bottom, which they were gonna lose anyway.
Yeah, so it ends up just being 3 kills and 2 of them on important heroes,
yeah.
Lifestealer and Naga, and they're re-engaging here.
Yeah, nice Visage Bird. Boat actually misses, so of course gets the buff. Blueberry Ninja able to get himself out. Open wounds upon Awayo. Used an earn charge, but yeah, we'll get dropped down. TCM just sticking around for a little bit too long, and Fnatic able to make that work for them.
Yeah, Fnatic able to get 1 kill. It's on Enchantress, so it's like the second least important. Yeah, just be above Skywrath Mage, that's the one. Who they probably don't really care if they kill. But it's like a weird fight from Fnatic. They wait till basically the tower's down to go in that top lane. They go in with only 3 heroes, and all of those heroes died? Did No-Tail die? Yeah, No-Tail died too. So they ended up like waiting way too long to initiate. They had to decide if they were going to try and defend the tower or not. And they end up just giving away a bunch of kills and the tower, which is obviously less than ideal. The courier, oh geez, the courier died too. So it's like giving away basically 2 towers up in that top lane and 3 kills for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, if you're wondering who the courier was going to, I could actually not tell you, because it has a medallion of oh, No-Tail? What? Oh, lol. Wait a second, mid lane fight going on. Lasso hits up on Hani. Gets dragged back into the fight, but Blueberry Ninja, you can't fly through those flames, and he is actually gonna go down. That's a Visage with a double kill. No-Tail getting it done for his team. Awayo getting stuck inside in a snare, trying to run himself out, while Nature's Attendants are trying to get him back to life. Here comes a dual breath. It actually hits from the low ground, and he will end up going down. That's a team wipe and a triple kill for no-till. Trixie with the double. They only lost Hani in the end, which is of course because of the lasso. Good fight for Fnatic. Very good fight for Fnatic.
Yeah, TCM committed Lasso and Doom to killing the Kunkka. They get him, but when those are your like team fight abilities, and I guess actually they used Mystic Flare on the Kunkka at the beginning of the fight too.
Yeah.
And he just walked out of it. That's like all of their spells. And when you use that on one hero, sure you get him down, but everyone else is there and they just kill you. Which is exactly what happened there. They finished off Kunkka, but not even that quickly, and they were able to take a bunch of kills on the back of it. Fortunately, they did keep their tier 2. No Visage Familiars, maybe?
Oh, the song! It sets up for trying to take the tower. They already go for it. Here comes the Mystic Flare up on Era, though, doing a lot of damage. The tower still gets destroyed by Era himself, but he goes down for it. Boat flies in. This is TCM in a lot of trouble. YO able to keep himself up just barely. X mark the spot. We'll make sure that Sasu goes down. Blueberry Ninja flies towards the high ground. And that is gonna be, should be Fnatic backing off unless they dive too far. Hani again, a lasso up on him. Again, he goes down. Now no-till trying to fly. Trixie takes a big impetus to the face, but is able to reach the high ground. And they try to chase down no-till. Here comes another slow. They should be able to get him. In the meantime, we also have the Bat Rider trying to chase down Trixie. No-till, one hit. No, 2 hits, there we go, that's gonna be a kill. In the meantime, Trixie was also picked off. Bat Rider was still able to get her. Blink Dagger, of course, up on Blueberry Ninja. And that's gonna be 4 dead on Fnatic, and that's called overextension.
Yeah, they got the tower down, and I think they just have to run after that, especially with Era just getting killed immediately as the tower goes down. It was somewhat unusual that they decided to send Life Stealer all the way forward to last hit the tower. I guess they wanted to give it to a carry, but if they had just gone with a ranged hero, I think they could have just taken it and run.
Yeah.
Or at least fought back away from the tier 3 where no one's going to get lassoed and pulled into the tier 3, which is exactly what happened to Hani, and once that happens, he's down. Era died obviously at the beginning, and things just kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, that was already, wow, Dragon Tail up on what? Up on the bird? You got a bird. Woo. That was already the song that helped out, but it didn't hit the Skywrath Mage, so there was a Mystic Flare up on Era before the fight actually started, so he already took a lot of damage before that, and then everything just went bad after that for Era. And the thing that I was gonna say before the fights happened is that the courier actually has a recipe for the Medallion of Courage, so we know who sent it to kill, to die. Which was, of course, then no-till. But he made sure he bought another recipe for the medallion before he left the base the next time. So he has got 2 recipes in total. But I'm thinking they're gonna go for Roshan purely because of that. But right now, they need to counterward first indeed. And they need to just make sure that they are finding themselves safe on the map, because it feels like TCM, I mean, even though the trade's constantly, in the end, a little bit more in favor of Fnatic in terms of gaining some extra control about the game, TCM is still very dangerous for Fnatic. And they are gonna go for Roshan right now, so looks like they're gonna get that for free. Doesn't look like TCM knows that this is going on, even though they just got counterwarded, so they could expect it.
Yeah, and even if they know, it's really risky for them to try and take this fight. It's in a really small enclosed area, and they have a lot more AoE on the side of Fnatic than TCM. TCM have pretty good single target stuff with the Doom, with the lasso, but if they get caught by like a boat, a torrent, macro pyre, ice path, even Song of the Siren just for Fnatic to disengage, that's pretty miserable for TCM. And that's kind of the story of a lot of these team fights. When the team fight is just a team fight, TCM are coming out way behind, they're getting team wiped, etc. And it's when Fnatic take these really disengaged fights, they in trouble.
Oh, he tries to TP himself out. Here comes the ice path to stop that, though. X marked the spot was there just in case. It was a smoke up with 5 people into the Radiant jungle, and that is everybody else of TCM out of their jungle to find some safety. And yeah, you're right. I mean, they've, like, with all their single targets, they've done an okay job shutting down the Kunkka, who now actually goes as a first item for the Chrysalis. So he's got his crit soon as they go for slow up on Hawaii. Let's see if they can get the kill. Here comes the rest of TCM, though. No-till, you're out here all by yourself. Walks through the Mystic Flare. He is gonna get picked off there if he's not careful. It looks like he will be fine. Doesn't want to. TCM don't want to chase. They don't know what's around the corner, obviously, or what's up the high ground, even though they do have the ward, but, you know, around the corner. You can never tell. Fnatic is in the meantime picking off the tier 2, and that is gonna be another extra control point for Fnatic. I mean, they've just taken over the Radiant jungle completely.
Yeah, I think the bigger thing, if they wanted to chase No-Tail there, was they could have just looked at bottom lane and saw that there were 4 heroes down there pushing
Yeah.
that tower, so that No-Tail was alone. But it's still pretty aggressive, and No-Tail's quite fast. Sasu in trouble, though.
Yeah, getting ice pathed up, but wounds were already there, and that's gonna be a pick off. Nice kill steal by No-Tail.
Yeah, last hit with Assumption.
Yep. Kill secured. That's gonna be another courier snipe, by the way. Because he died at the secret shop. I'm not sure who was there. I'm thinking it was Blueberry Ninja was able to be there, who almost has his 4 staff ready. And misses the boat, actually. That's gonna be Blueberry still dead, but... Okay, well, I guess the boat gives them a little bit of a buff, which is nice, but kind of unnecessary in the end. But yeah, the courier going down again. This time it was empty, but it will force someone towards the secret shop. Who would have sent it there? What items do they have? Era, 1600 gold in his inventory. We already have the crystals
Right.
there as Naga Siren goes down on the top lane. I almost forgot
could've
they
been
had a Naga
Visage.
Siren. I think...
It could have been Visage wanting a point booster. He's at like 2300 gold.
Oh yeah. That could have been an option, as we do have everybody of Fnatic trying to stop TCM from doing anything. No TP for him. Ice Path, Xbox spot stuns. And that's Era, able to get the last hit up on the Doom. So they lose a Doom for a Naga Siren. He was still there?
Yeah, I think he didn't have mana to port out because he dropped Mystic Flare.
Because I really
Might have
thought
been
I had
close.
TP'd out. Like,
No, he didn't even try. I think he was low on mana.
wow. That was surprising.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for him.
Yeah, Fnatic, though, they look good. They have got about 8k in favor in terms of gold. Same thing about
Radiant's
experience,
top tower
almost.
is under attack.
And even though it's not as one-sided as the previous game, Fnatic's still looking to take this game at the moment. Unless
They're going on
this-
Hawaii in the top lane.
Yeah, Hawaii will drop. There we go. Jakiro in the end with the last hit. But yeah, I'm actually thinking, what does TCM need to do to still win this game, to get back into it?
Well, just the problem was their draft. It was so greedy, and they needed a lot of farm on a lot of heroes, and they obviously didn't get it. Oh, Barrier.
Yeah, I followed that. It was kind of sad. Like, he had a lasso, a touch to Era, purely because otherwise he couldn't stop him from chasing him down. But, I mean, you drag someone with you that you don't want near you. And he tried
and
to
he's
blink
really
away
fast.
after that. Yeah, and he blinked right into Trixie when he blinked away, so...
Oh, that's
Yeah.
really unfortunate. Yeah, so TCM, their lineup was really greedy. They needed a lot of farm. They didn't get the farm, so now they're behind, and they can't even just say, well, we're going to team fight our way out of it, because their team fight is much, much worse than what Fnatic have going on. They really have no substantial AoE, other than, like, Mystic Flare, which is obviously not a really great AoE. It's very small, and does less damage if it catches more heroes. And, Batrider, like, with the flames, you can say is AoE, but again, not really doing that much to heroes at this point in the game. So they can't really hope to team fight out. They have to just get pickoffs, and Fnatic, if they realize this, which they obviously should, can just stay together, force fights that way, and there's not a lot TCM can do at this point.
Yeah, we see Fnatic. They're already gathering up in the mid lane. They will have everybody here soon. Open wounds starts up on Sasu, strong boat. And that boat still comes in. I was gonna say, a bit miscommunication otherwise. That's gonna be a nice bet that doesn't hit anybody. Hawaio's stuck inside the ensnare and will try to keep himself up to run away. Nobody died just yet, but Hawaio looks to be baiting it out, baiting a kill out. They actually get Visage first. He buys back though. Doom upon Era in the meantime. This might be the thing that TCM needs to get back. That is the Aegis gone. Go Audio though. Trouble. Go Audio running. Shadowblade. No mana for it. And Era gets himself a kill. In the meantime, the Naga Siren still went down. That was Dragonite making it happen. Dragonite with the X mark the spot. Here comes Fly. Can he get an Ice Path? Yes, he can. Dragon Tail still upon Era, so he can't eat Sasu up. Sasu, fly for your life. Won't be able to double kill for Era. In the meantime, though, no racks down just yet. And Era is actually diving in enemy's base right now. He gets a triple kill, and right now they can go for the tier 3. And of course, No-Tail back inside of this because he actually ended up buying back. The only one left alive is Blueberry Ninja. This time the Radiant Courier actually got sniped with some wards who were trying to go to Hawaii most likely. But Hawaii actually almost back up alive. I guess that's part of the upside of not being too high level. Level 12 up for him.
Yeah, but these heroes are going to be back up too late. They really can't defend this set of racks in the mid lane. They can keep them off of taking another lane though.
Yeah,
And
unless,
Blueberry Ninja.
unless they throw a little bit. No-Tail In some trouble, gets lassoed. Looks to be okay for the moment though. Gets a mechanism charge up as well. Go Audio looking for a target as Hawaii gets picked off by Era. We are gonna see Blue Bear Ninja able to help get a kill. It is finally Visage that goes down again, and of course he just bought back, so he can't do it again. Blue Bear Ninja will go down for it though. And I mean, that's the complete middle ranks gone, but nothing else. As you said, they are able to hold back the fort after that. But it did cost them quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think that fight could have gone even better for Fnatic if Era had just let himself die after he got doomed. He kind of just ran around the fight doomed for a very, very long time. Wasn't able to do too much damage because heroes just walked away from him, which is one of the downsides to being Lifestealer if you can't cast open wounds on people.
Yeah.
He is quite fast, but he didn't have that basher picked up. It is in his stash now, so I'll have it for the next fight. But he was kind of just kited a lot, and if he had just let himself drop, maybe ran into tier 3s or whatever, let himself get in a fight, goes down quickly, uses the Aegis to respawn, he comes back and is able to get those kills before his supports kind of eventually get just killed off by Doombringer and Dragonite, both being very tanky heroes, surviving for a long time, standing in the middle of the fight.
Yeah, in the meantime, I have to say, like, Kunkka didn't have that much of a fun game so far. He's been shut down a lot, harassed a lot. But he's now has his Daedalus, and he's actually highest on net worth, or higher on net worth rather than everybody of TCM. So, doing a good job. That's gonna be, yeah, a bash, and that's gonna be Atsi dead. Era able to do that. He managed to pick up a Sanjay Yasha before his basher was ready. He's got 1900 gold already as well in the bank, and I mean, highest net worth on the map. Fnatic is just looking really strong right now, and it's such an uphill battle, a steep uphill battle for TCM to try and defend their bottom lane ranks, because that's where Fnatic is going to go right now, even though they don't have Naga Siren, because she's still on the top lane farming.
Yeah, this is pretty aggressive from Fnatic to be going in without Naga around. They take like half the damage off, or half the health off the tower though, which is pretty okay. They can keep dropping that liquid fire on it. I don't know why Trixie is farming right now.
He's
Doesn't
gold,
seem
dude. He's gold.
necessary.
Gold.
Feels really unnecessary. I understand the desire for gold.
He's jealous at Era for getting ahead on the net worth.
Maybe he's worried that Hani's gonna catch him, and he would be embarrassed. Maybe that's his problem. He just wants to make sure he stays ahead of Hani.
Fair enough. I think that's more legit than trying to catch up on Era.
Yeah, there's not really much chance he's catching up to Era unless Era feeds a ton. Oh, I guess that could be his plan too. Maybe he's hoping Era dies.
Oh yeah, well, tough chance for now. Brilliant ice path coming off for Fly. Here comes the boat as well. Sasu turns on his BKB, gonna try to find this back as GoAudio is already fleeing from the scene. That's gonna be GoAudio dead. Mystic Flare tries to kill off Fly, but Fly is able to get himself away. That impetus, that's gonna be Fly still dead. Nicely done. Torrent, X mark the spot. Sasu in some trouble. Here comes the Soul Assumption. Not enough though. No Tail, you might be in some trouble. But he speeds himself up and is able to come back in it after Era goes in again. That's Sasu dead. That's a monster kill for him. Goes up on Audio, who just bought back. Gets picked up again. Era double kill. Blue Bear Ninja tried to chase them away from the base, but gives a triple kill to Era, and that is gonna be Rax. Unless there's gonna be some throws, which actually might just happen with Era very low. Armlet toggling for his life right now. Tries to eat himself up on Atsu. That's an ultra kill. He cannot get a rampage though because there's no people left alive. The top lane is already pushing in. That's courtesy of Trixie right there. And that's gonna be the GG. Well played. Going the way of Fnatic. It is gonna be a 2-0 sweep. Fnatic. They take themselves to the winners bracket finals, which is gonna be played tomorrow at 1900 CST time. First though, tonight we're gonna see the other matchup. For the other half of the group, it will be Ubels taking on KP. One of those two teams will be joining Fnatic, and the other one will face TCM in the loser bracket round number 1 tonight.
Yeah, Fnatic looking strong, and I don't think it really surprises too much of anyone that they would take this over TCM. Fnatic's starting to get better and better, closer to their old form. Still not quite there yet. I don't think there were a lot of maybe sillier plays in this game. And Hani is still having some trouble with maybe his over-aggression, getting picked off a lot.
Yeah.
But things go okay. They end up with a ton of kills, and yeah, they're going to move on to the winners bracket.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, this is Group B. It was considered Group B to be the toughest group of the groups, as there were Quantic and Fnatic and KP in there, with TCM a bit of the underdogs. But Quantic, unfortunately, having to pull out of the Corsair Gaming Summer Tournament due to some, well, Shokska being hospitalized. We don't know why. It sounds so serious, but we don't know why.
Sound really serious.
Yeah, I hope it is nothing serious, but that's the reason why they're not playing. But we do have Ubals taking on, taking the spot of Quantic, and that makes the group a little bit less scary, I think. But we'll see how they will fare up against KP, because that's going to be our next matchup. We might have a bit of a break, but it's still getting checked if we can move that next matchup up a little bit, or if we actually have to wait 1 hour and 10 minutes, because that's the official starting time. Stick around though for more Dota 2 action. It is, of course, group number B of the Corsair Gaming Summer Tournament. I am here with Kanaz. You can follow him on Twitter at KanazDota and on Twitch at KanazTA. And you can follow me on Twitter at SheeverGaming, as well as the same name on Twitch, etc. So, let's jump ourselves into the next game. If it's already there, or otherwise have ourselves a bit of a break. Stick around anyways for watching commercials. Yay!